Hello everybody, Friday afternoon, and I am making Keto Bricks today. I like to fix food that I want to eat in my lifestyle, and I've been doing this all along for the last 8 years and fine-tuning things, sometimes doing it, sometimes not. And the reason I'm doing it now is because I've got this half marathon in Tennessee, and I wanted to see what I could bring with me that I could have as snacks and not have to worry about buying anything when I'm there. And I didn't want to actually order the Keto Bricks, which are a wonderful product. So Keto Savage has these awesome Keto Bricks that you can order. And hopefully they're more shelf stable than mine are. So I'm having trouble with the first batch actually melting too fast. So I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. But basically the base is cacao butter. And they saw the little, sometimes they come in chunks, sometimes they come in these little wafer sizes. But I melted it. Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. Let me show you what it looks like melted. So it's just melted cacao butter. So that's pretty much the base. You could add anything to this. I've done it before. There's a company out there that was selling product. I haven't seen them lately, but it was Belichka bars, and they were made out of coconut butter. And you could add. They added all kinds of different kinds of nuts. Mostly it was almonds, and then they flavored up the almonds. And so you could add any kind of nuts to these you want. I am actually adding macadamia nut butter. So I'm doing a half a cup of macadamia nut butter. And one of the reasons I'm also wanting to explore with this is I'm making a recipe book, and I'm hopefully to have ready before November 1st or sooner with some of the recipes that I kind of like to concoct. So don't ever be afraid of trying to make something like this, because if you don't make it the way you want it exactly, you could always melt it and do it again. And I've got fudge recipes, you know, that one's always easy to play with and create different textures and different add-ins. And what I wanted to do with my Keto Bricks specifically was why I'm not buying them is because the ones that Keto Savage uses, good quality products, but it has whey, and I'm sensitive to dairy and I didn't want the whey. I can't tolerate whey protein powder. And then the other ones are, so it's either whey protein powder or it is vegetarian protein powder. So my solution for myself is to use beef gelatin. That's what I'm using because I wanted to have more of a carnivore bent to this and more of something that I'm not sensitive to with my food. And so then I'm also adding collagen. So I'm doing both of those for protein. And then, because I also want to I want these to be nutrient dense, not just fat bombs. I want them to have the protein that I need for half marathon, for exercising, for hiking. And so I am putting in perfect aminos as well to boost the protein content. And then I'm adding extra vanilla because I want the flavor. That is a vanilla protein powder, but it's really sweet and I don't really like the flavor. So I wanted to kind of balance the flavor with some vanilla. And the fun thing about doing things like this is you can taste it as you go and see if you need to add anything to it to change the flavor. Got a sneeze coming, sorry. Excuse me. Whew, it's coming out. Okay. All right. Creatine. I want to keep my muscles and my brain healthy. So even though I eat more of a meat-based diet, because being keto for 8 years, a lot of the times you just end up being more keto-ore. You end up kind of looking at carnivore. Sometimes you don't have vegetables, you feel like eating them, and so I just keep my vegetables very minimal at this point in time because I am doing more of a carnivore challenge to see how my body and my gut manages this. What I'm seeing and what I'm liking so far, my brain works better, my energy levels are better overall, and I don't have the brain fog that I was having just on long-term keto. So I am back to bulletproof coffee and fasting in the morning, which works for me because that helps me work in the morning, be more creative, get work done, and have my brain turned on for ketones. Now, I don't wake up in ketosis. I probably had some neoglucogenesis during the evening, but my blood sugar yesterday was 90, 91, and today it was like 82, but my ketones my ketones were 0.3 or 0.4 when I check them in the morning, but when I check them usually before I eat, I'm usually around a 0.8. So that's as long as you're 0.5, you're in ketosis. So I've been using the Keto Mojo to check this, just curious to see what my body's doing. I haven't done it in a long time and wanted to kind of check on that. And And I'm noticing I'm just not as hungry. I hardly have any food cravings. Now, these things, when you start eating these things, they do kind of turn on the cravings a little bit. You know, you get that taste bud, the taste under your tongue, and you want to eat them. These ones, the last batch I made, were super salty, but they were kind of good. A little too much macadamia nuts, so I think I'm going to leave out the extra crunchy macadamia nuts because that was a little too salty. And for me, maybe I don't want that much in my food, but for you guys, you could always add in that. I even have pecans in the freezer, but I'm not going to use them till the holidays. So that's so what I'm really liking is the brain, less brain fog, less cravings overall, less hunger overall. Still working on getting my protein at 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal is what I focus on, because we do need more protein, not less overall, because our bodies are made out of protein and our brains are made out of fat. And if we want our brains to work, we need the fat. And if we want to build muscle and keep our skin healthy and our hair healthy, we need to have protein. So carbohydrates are truly non-essential. It depends on your gut as to whether or not you need more vegetables or less vegetables. We don't need fruit. Fruit is sugar. We don't need sugar in our diet. It just tastes good, but it doesn't really cause our brain to grow, create our body. It just is a fuel source. But that fuel source, when you use too much sugar, and wheat breaks down into sugar, when you have too high of a processed food source that's like that turns to glucose in your blood, when that is too elevated and it's on all the time and it's 24/7, that's just too much in the body, and that's what makes you sick. That's what causes the lifestyle diseases that everybody has to deal with. We don't want that. We want to minimize it. The best way to minimize that is to take the sugar out of your diet and to reduce the wheat consumption. Get rid of the wheat, because wheat causes your hunger and it causes your brain to have more brain fog. And so when you want to correct your diet and lifestyle, you want to look beyond, like the food you're eating that tastes good, that you want in the moment, and how can you use food like what I'm fixing and what's going to be in my cookbook for using as food bridges, because sometimes it's really hard to get started, or maybe you're scared. And so a lot of times people say, just don't eat dirty keto, just go and straight and just eat your meat and vegetables. Well, it kind of depends on what you can do with your body and your mind and where you're at in your lifestyle changes. Nothing is wrong as long as you're making lifestyle changes. So sure, the only thing I would say would be wrong if you're going to go low carb is keep the wheat out. There's some very tricky when you're looking at low carb products. If you're keeping in products that are still processed, if you're keeping in products, they need to be the highest quality products you could find on the market. That means no wheat gluten, because that'll keep your appetite turned on and give you brain fog. You won't feel good in your body. And so you want to make sure that you don't have wheat gluten. And check out one of my YouTube videos there, or if you want, I could send it to you. But it's just not food that makes your body do good. You want to take out the foods that cause your body to be inflamed and have problems and get sick, and then you want to bring in the foods that are inflammation to your body that actually create the health that you want. So all these things that I'm using today are going to help support my muscle synthesis, my brain, give me energy, because I'm a fat burner when I need it, and I am excited to give this a try and see how this batch comes out. So these are, it's not inexpensive to buy these. However, when you get 20 bars and you calculate the cost of it, the price goes down in that regard. And so I have at least 3 servings with this macadamia nut butter. And this was probably $25. Now you could use almond butter. I chose to use macadamia nut butter. I didn't want to use almond butter. You can change things up. You could do tahini. Tahini doesn't taste good unless it's salty, so just be aware of that. And you could even do cacao paste. Cacao paste is the cocoa with the cacao butter if you want it more of a chocolate-based item. Or you can use the cacao butter and then add cocoa for flavoring. There's all kinds of things you could do. You could add coconut flakes to this. You can make them a little bit more fibrous if you want to. I'm trying to cut down the fiber specifically, because what I've noticed when I went on my carnivore challenge since just past, when I came home from 4th of July vacation, so I started about the 8th of July, one of the first things I noticed, I totally lost my appetite. And the other thing was my brain started working better. And then with less fiber, I have better bowel movement, which is curious for me, because I'm doing a lot of metal detoxification, and I've had some issues with my sodium, potassium being in the right place. So I've been building it up over the last couple of years. and getting all that balanced. But while doing that, I'm dumping metals, and so with the metals dumping, I ended up with more diarrhea. So then I wasn't sure, what is causing it specifically. So I took out the fiber, and I had less diarrhea. So TMI, I'm sure, but nobody really wants to hear that or even talk about it. But I'm a practitioner, functional medicine practitioner, and we talk poop. Because if your poop tells you what's going on in your body, and if you've got a problem, you need to fix it. So we fix guts, I help you fix your metabolism. I support you, the whole person, and help you reduce your blood sugar imbalances so you can reverse prediabetes and not ever get to diabetes. Because if you keep doing the same old things that you've been doing, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with one of the lifestyle diseases, and it starts with insulin resistance, which you all have. Everybody in America probably has it. Some to more. So if you gain weight, you have insulin resistance. And if you have any kind of condition, you're more likely to have gut dysfunction. And so it's all connected. And what we eat, if we just look at food as opportunities, run your food sensitivity panel, find out what your food sensitivities are, look for your weight loss blocks. If you can take away the things that are causing inflammation into your body and reduce those for a period of time, you get to heal and seal the gut so that you can feel better in your body. And that's the whole process. So one of the things I did a little different this time than I did with the last one is I thought I was supposed to, I didn't Google it, I thought I was supposed to boil the gelatin so that it would set. This time, when I really Googled it, it told me to not boil it and to just put it in cold water. But then I'm like, well, I don't want water in this bar. So I added it to the half cup of macadamia nut butter. And so now it looks real crumbly. So you could see it's real crumbly, which was perfect. So it kind of bounded up a little bit with some moisture, but I didn't add any I didn't add any heat. So all I did was melt the cacao butter. I did not heat it beyond melting it. So now I'm just going to add everything in so that it can basically melt into the cacao butter without overcooking, and hopefully it still activates the gelatin. That was what I was hoping for using gelatin, was that I would actually get the product to bind more, because I wanted more of a stable, I wanted a product that was more stable for traveling. But it looks like I'm still going to have to take an ice pack with me on the airport to have my bars travel with me. So, it's all about ingenuity in your diet and lifestyle. Anything you make and what you do, you got to be resilient and have ingenuity. Just decide you want to do something and figure out how to do it, and figure out who's going to help you and where you're going to get the information so you can do what you want to do. And just run with it, because as long as you're in action for your health and your self-care, you're going to have better results than if you never did anything ever. Because if you just do the same old same thing, you're just going to have the same results. Everybody's always heard that. So basically what I'm doing right now is mashing up this and letting it melt into the cacao butter so it's a smoother texture. And I might have to whip it a little bit. I'm not sure it's going to melt in as quick as I want it to. I tend to be a dump and stir and mix it all up and not worry about it, but I wanted the texture to be right for this. I don't want it to be lumpy, so I might have to get out something. Maybe try a fork. Okay, and if you guys have any questions in the meanwhile, ask questions and I'll see if I can answer them. Thank you guys for being here. Oh my gosh, I love it. You know what? It really lights me up to talk to you guys here and to let you know and support you, and to let you know that all of the lifestyle choices that I've made and all I've done over the last few years, I didn't start getting success till I was 53. And so then in the last 8 years, I improved all my success. So I've collapsed the time for my clients to get the success that I've already learned with my program, which is the Holistic Low Carb Method. But you can get started and start doing these things on your own and just never give up. Just keep doing it. Don't ever think that a stall means you're not going to get results. A stall just means you're getting metabolic activity happening inside your body, and your body has to get healthy to lose the weight. So you just need to find your weight loss blocks and figure out what's going on in your body and correct it. So it's not always instantaneous. I lost 20 pounds the very first time in about a month or 2 months. I don't remember anymore. And then nothing for 3 years. But you know what? I felt better than I've ever felt my whole life. I wasn't going to go back to being sick and depressed and miserable. So why go backwards? I just needed to keep doing what I was doing, living my life, being excited about what I was doing. And I didn't know if I was going to lose more weight or what I needed to do. I just wanted to be healthy, feel good in my body. And so I kept looking, listening, and figuring out what it is that I needed to do, and just kept at it so that I can be healthy. And I lost weight. So once you fix your gut and you realize your gut and digestion aren't working, because most people's digestion's not working. If you're eating a standard American diet, you screw up your digestion. I was there. It's not your fault. Everybody, it happens to everybody, because if you take out the fat and the protein, your digestion stops working. It's just, our bodies were designed to eat fat and protein and break it all down. But that's why there's so much gallbladder dysfunction, because of the fact that we stop eating fat, we stop eating protein. You've got to build your digestion back up. That's why when I started digestive enzymes, I had a really good experience with that, and that was 15 pounds of weight loss. So that's really powerful. So this did not whip up the way I wanted to. Let me try something else. Okay, I got my little whipper up here. Let's see, it's probably just going to get messed up and stick to my little whipper. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. This is also Q&A time while we're doing this baking, but never think that you can't make a lifestyle change. If you're sick already, you just got to optimize your body and give your body information. Give your body the right information from the right food, and you just have to keep listening and practicing healthier lifestyles. Get out and get that movement. And the biggest thing you can do too is get outside and ground. The more you ground, the more you get sunlight in your eyes and on your skin, the healthier your body's going to be. Now, to protect your skin, you do want to start with light in the morning and build up. Now, I could go outside for an hour in the middle of the day, and it doesn't hurt me too much. I might burn a tiny bit, but for the most part, the fact that I don't wear sunglasses, I protect my body by the light as information into my body. And then the other thing is I take astaxanthin, and I get antioxidants. And the food that I eat is not oxidizing my skin, because I get natural animal fats, olive oil, coconut oil, but I'm not putting oxidized vegetable oils into my body. If you use those vegetable oils, you damage your skin. So we don't want to use those in our skin, because you got to think about what you're putting in your body. Is the oil you're using a toxic oil that is rancid and causing inflammation in your body? If it is, then you're going to be damaged by it. You're not going to get results. All right, so I've got collagen and creatine in here. I'm going to add that in. I've already pre-mixed it in. I think for the most part I was doing 4 scoops or 4 servings of each product. So in the end, this is going to have 28 to 30 grams of protein per serving. And that's what I wanted, was to try to get the muscle synthesis in a snack bar that I wanted to make, so with the right amount of protein. It's really hard to find that out on the market of products that are already out there. Mostly they're just going to be some protein, but not enough for muscle synthesis, so more of a snack. And I thought maybe I would make one that has more of a meal bar. That's what I wanted to do. And I'm forgetting what these things are, but I've got the perfect aminos in here, and I've got my adrenal cocktail. This product I'm using is my sodium, potassium, and it has some vitamin C in here. I'm doing 4 servings of that, so it's not a full serving, but it is giving me some electrolyte balance. And then actually, I guess I probably should leave in the macadamia nuts, because then that extra salt was actually really kind of useful. I think I got it all in here. We got creatine, perfect aminos, collagen, gelatin, adrenal cocktail. It's all in here. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Maybe we'll do some macadamia nuts after all. Let me taste it. So what do you want to do is taste your food, because you could always even remelt things as you're making them, so that you get, especially with something like this, if you need to remelt it and change it up. Flavor's okay. Last time I added ghee and MCT oil. I'm not adding that this time because it melted too fast, so I'm keeping those out this time. You could use an MCT powder. I didn't have one. The only thing I don't like about MCT powder, does it have dextrin? Does it have maltodextrin? We don't want maltodextrin, because that's just another sugar. So you always want to look at making sure that your products don't have maltodextrin in them. So that's something that I look to avoid. So could use coconut milk powder for a little extra, if you want a little extra powder or anything to bind things up, or some, I guess I'm going to get my macadamia nuts. Hold on. So I haven't been eating them. I haven't actually eaten them since July 8th. Actually, before then, I didn't even take them on my trip. Just going to spread a few out in the pan here, and I'll show you what I did. Actually, I did too many again because I keep forgetting how many I'm making. I did the same thing last time. I filled up every single little container and I only want 10. Okay. So I have these things. These are little, like, silicone little bars. And then I have the nuts in there at the bottom. Okay, and then this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a fudge. It's kind of like a vanilla fudge in a way. So if you need more flavor, one of the things I was going to do was just add a drop of the monk fruit just to take away the taste of the perfect aminos. It's a little too sweet. I'm going to have to email them because everybody's saying it's a little too sweet. But I don't even know if I got that in there. Let's see. You could always add a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of almond extract, play with it with nuts, change the texture and the taste to what you want. I don't want mine sweet. Okay. So I'm really liking doing a carnivore challenge. I'm not sure yet how I want to do that long term or not. I like baking like a carrot cake for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, or a pumpkin pie. So for the holidays, I'm probably going to be more keto. And maybe during the rest of the year, I'll be more carnivore. I don't know yet. But if it's helping my gut function better and my bowels work better, it's definitely something I would choose to do over not doing it. Okay, so here we go. Woohoo! Isn't it great? Now it's a little on my lumpy side, but I'm the only one eating these. You guys can always squash your lumps more. Because what I had done was I'd added that gelatin to the nut butter, and I didn't keep this very hot because I didn't want to damage the gelatin. Okay, so and then I'll show you what this looks like because I've already got a batch in the fridge. So stick with me. If you got any questions? All right, here we go. And let me know where you're from, where you guys watching from. I'm in California, Southern Desert, up in the high desert of California. It's 104 degrees outside today. So if you hear the air in the background, that's why it's noisy. Because we have a swamp cooler. Swamp cooler's half the price of a regular electricity for whole house air conditioning, because somebody told me the other day that her electricity was $600. Mine was only $300. Not that I want to pay $300, but at least you're more comfortable during the summer. Alright, I'll show you guys what this looks like in a bit. Definitely 10 is plenty. I don't think I need more than 10, which makes it more protein per mold or per bar. Actually, it's a little thicker this time, and so it's not, seems to be less quantity of it, but it's working. And I did add those macadamia nuts for more salt, which I decided that was an okay idea, to have more salt than not. So basically you need to make sure this goes all the way to the corners when you're adding the mold so that your bar looks good. Super easy things to do like this, so you don't have to always buy things. You could try to make things. The best thing we can do when we want to be able to cook our own food and take care of ourselves in our own house, because the more you get stuff outside of the house, that food is not always going to be the cleanest food for your body. You want to be able to make clean food at home. And anytime you're out at a restaurant, you're getting contaminated with vegetable oils, which are inflammatory. And per Kate Shanahan of Dark Calories, the book she just wrote, she states you can't get energy from vegetable oils. It's one of the reasons why people are exhausted and tired. If you're eating only food with vegetable oils, you're not able to break that down and burn it as energy. It's not the right fat for our body. Saturated fat is the natural fat that our body needs. It's not cholesterol that causes heart disease, sugar, inflammation, and oxidation. It's when you don't eat the right foods and you're causing inflammation that your body uses. Cholesterol is kind of like a Band-Aid. So if you're damaging your arteries, your body has to take cholesterol and go patch it. So everybody just, so it's always been assumed. There's plenty of information out there on this that that's what causes the heart disease. But what's causing the heart disease is eating too much sugar and grains in the diet and having inflammation. But when you guys follow the low-carb method, what you get to do is create 10 to 20 more years of quality life. You get to get your second half of your life back. That's what's important. That's more important than eating sugary donuts, sugary ice cream. I used to love that stuff. I used to eat bagels. I loved popcorn. I don't care anymore because you know what? I'd rather feel good. I'm down 100 pounds. I want to feel good in my body. I just started tennis lessons today. I did really good. I asked the guy, he said, did I do okay? He says, you're coachable. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that meant that I did a good job, but you know what? I was able to run back and forth and chase that ball and hit it over the net, and I was learning the form. So I've never had tennis lessons. I used to do tennis in high school. I'm 61 years old. So this was the first time I've done tennis as an adult. So I'm pretty proud of myself to get out there and do that. So, hey, you got to get out and do new things. All right, let me show you what this looks like. Hold on. See how I can show you. All right. Here we go. You guys see my bars? There we go. And then I'm going to show you the ones that I have in the fridge that I made earlier. They're gorgeous. But like I said, they're going to have to be house bars or I have to have a cooler. So, hold on. So these are the ones on the plate. See if I can get you guys to see that. See that? Those are the bars. These are the ones that came out of the mold. So you basically put your mold in the fridge or the freezer and let it get cold, and then you just pop them out. And as long as it's not heat wave, they won't melt so rapidly. But that's pretty cool, right? Actually tastes really good. I liked them. I'd like to know that I can take this hiking if I wanted to. That was one of the other reasons I wanted to make them, for hiking, and see if it's something that can nourish me during the half marathon, but probably not because it's going to have that melting issue. So, oh well, back to the drawing board. This is the one I was eating. Soft, kind of like fudge. Kind of like fudge. I don't know how many calories are in there, but they're about 28 to 30 grams of protein. And the cacao butter, I guess I could probably add this all up. I'll have to go through and calculate the cacao butter and the macadamia nut butter, and then we'll see what you're doing. Well, that was it. Those are my keto bricks. You can go to Keto Savage and order his keto bricks. And his keto bricks are really thick, so you can even melt those down and put them into little molds like this if you want them smaller so they're easier to eat. You can do that as well. I don't think I bought them specifically. I've had them like at KetoCon and tried them, but I haven't actually bought one to see how well they weather the heat. But pretty cool to know that we can make our own stuff. So stay tuned for my ebook, recipe book that's coming out. And if I really get moving, I'm going to start working on it more this weekend. If I really get it moving, I'm hoping to have it ready before Halloween, but definitely before November 1st. So I'm going to put in my cookie recipe in there, my carrot cake recipe, a pumpkin pie recipe, and there may not be a ton of them, but I'm going to get it started and I could always add to it. So I'm excited to do that for you guys. Just keep knowing you get to make the choice to choose health at home. It's a lot cheaper to start investing in yourself, to do what you need to do. Get yourself a health coach. I'm here if you need me. Find somebody who resonates with you. Just hired on one person yesterday, and I've got one more space left this month. If you're interested in implementing the holistic low carb method and getting your life back on track, reclaiming the second half of your life, and just implementing all of this and the lifestyle management personalized based on your diagnostic functional labs that I will help you run. And so I always run 3 to 6 labs depending on the program you pick, so you can find your hidden healing opportunities and your weight loss blocks, because you get to collapse the time it took to get your health under control than it did me. Get yourself started. My goal is to educate you so that you get to do this for the rest of your life, that I don't have to do it for you anymore. You get to do it. And so there's where you spend, you save the time and money in the long term. Do a health adventure staycation now, and then later you're on your own and you know what to do, and you're going to be successfully healthy the rest of your life, living a quality life. That's what we want, quality life. And a lot of the times people just don't realize what they need to do. So my holistic low carb method is based on using a low carb diet. And a low carb diet, you want to get it under 50. But if you're coming off of processed food and you're having a hard time getting started, get it under 100. Get it under 100. Go down to fruit only. Take out the wheat. Take out the potatoes. Take out the rice. You do not need them. You need your good fats and protein, but you don't want to use vegetable oil. So you want to do a clean, holistic type of lifestyle change overall. So you want to look at this not as a diet, but as a lifestyle. So if you want to lose the weight sooner or quicker, some people might need to go lower. So going 50 works for a lot of people, net carbs, or even down to 20. So it just depends on where you are, what your health goals are, and what you need to do to get there. But if you are interested in my holistic low carb method and working with me directly, like I said, I do have 1 spot left. And so get on my calendar for this next week and let's get you dialed in. I'm going to be heading out on vacation beginning of September, so I'll be gone for half the month, and heading out to Tennessee for my half marathon and hoping I can take these bars with me. So I'm hoping the new ones will set up a little bit better and not melt as quickly without the butter and the MCT oil. And I'm going to set that up and put it into my ebook so I can send it out to you guys. So I didn't see any other questions, just those 2. But never think that you guys can't get healthy and that you can't lose the weight, because you can't. But you can't do it in the standard American diet. You can't do it with the skinny mitts. You can't do it with the conventional process. You could do it short-term temporarily by starving yourself. But long-term, no, it doesn't work long-term. Long-term, you have to control your blood sugar. You have to look at the root cause. The root cause is blood sugar dysregulation, which leads to the prediabetes, the high blood pressure, the mismanaged cholesterol that's not working for you, and brain fog and everything else. But when you do a low carb lifestyle, not a diet, you get permanent weight loss results, because what you're doing is dialing in something that's going to work for you long term, because you're not on a diet. And that's what I love about it. And when you feel better, you'll never go back to the crap again. Even as much as you enjoyed it in the past, even as much as you remember you liked it, there's other things we could eat that make us feel good. And we just focus on that. I remember somebody I was listening to on a podcast said, and they were both a keto carnivore, and they were saying, yeah, the reason they don't stray is because they don't want the cravings to come back, because those cravings become roaring back. So if you flip that sugar switch on, you will have cravings. But you could flip that sugar switch off, turn off your cravings and hunger, take back control of your diet and lifestyle, and be empowered to not be sick. You get to choose that. I am not sick, not on any medications, ditched all my whatnots that I had, the arthritis, the asthma, the allergies, the sore knees, and the prediabetes, all gone. And it's just, we have to decide what we want to eat to fix our body. And so when you look at eating sugar, and wheat and carbohydrates, which turn on growth factors, what else is it turning on? What other growth factors are turning on? And when you're eating like that and you're not getting fat and protein, you're starving. You're not getting nutrients. And so a lot of people who end up diabetic, they don't have any nutrients in their body. They're starving. They're not getting the nutrients to fix their body. It's so sad. And, I understand how hard it is to get started. That's why I do these bakings. When I got started, I used the bulletproof bars. I used the bulletproof shakes. It worked for me. It helped me stay focused, keep my brain activated, and kept my mood elevated. I needed that because I was addicted to sugar and carbohydrates, and I needed to get off that addiction. To get off that addiction, you can't eat them, period. You will just keep craving them. And so these bars that I made today, these Keto Bricks, you can use things like this to get that craving out of your body. And then when you eat protein and fat, you satiate your body and don't feel like eating the other stuff. And when you're able to then make that decision, when you're able to, your brain starts to work and you understand that you don't have to be driven by hunger, you no longer have to make the choice from that spot. You get to make the choice from intelligence and empowerment, because you understand now that you were using, that your body's hunger was hormonally driven and telling you you need to eat those foods. So now you don't have to eat them. So isn't that the coolest thing ever? I think I'm shaking too much. Oh, oops. Anyways, it was good that you guys joined me today. I really loved having you here. And if you guys want to get on a call, let me know. I'll send you the link so you can sign up, find out how I could support you. Because you know, when you work with somebody who has a program that works, take a look at my website. I have my testimonies there. I have how to work with me. I have everything there. And, you know, get to know me there as well. Get to know me. Go through my reels. I put my heart into those reels. They come from straight from my heart, because I'm here to help you. And I want everybody to know that they can get healthy. So I'm going to shout this to the rooftops, because we do not have to stay sick, unhealthy, and overweight if we choose not to. But it is a choice. And sometimes you have to choose your heart. And in the beginning, it can be a little bit harder. So if you need to have a keto cookie, I'm not going to say you shouldn't have a keto cookie, but just make sure there's no wheat in it. And if you want to have a little bit of bread or a tortilla, because that's what you're used to, and that's going to help you get off of the processed food and the wheat, then make sure they're unbun. That or Base Culture, those two brands are good brands, but no wheat gluten, guys. No wheat gluten. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.